365 days of sport.
All right, happy St. David's Day to everyone out there. It is the 365 Days of Sport podcast. Welcome wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my good mate, Rob Bryers. Rob, how the devil are you?
I'm very, very well. It's fantastic to be here at Narong Studios. I think air conditioning is something that should have been invested upon some time ago by the landlord, but he's keeping the rent down nice and low, so I'll take that as a bit of sort of a relationship between the two of us that's been growing for some time, which is basically one of neglect.
Indeed,
So,
but it's overrated, air conditioning. You should know this by now.
Well, I like the way you're sweating off your forehead there. It's really turning me on. I feel like I want to jump you, actually.
It goes without saying. So the week in sports, where a transgender 17-year-old wrestler in Texas won the women's state wrestling title.
How did you come across this?
I'm a subscriber to Transgender News.
Yes, well, I should have known. Yeah.
Yes. So in Texas, as you probably well know, you can't. If you were born a woman, you can't, and you're a transgender, you can't go to toilet in the men's toilets, even if you've had the op. And conversely, if you're a transgender wrestler, you have to wrestle against the girls.
So, all right, it all just follows on. So, but hang on a sec, where do they go to the toilet if they can't go to the toilet in their own...
Whatever it says
so
on
sorry, if they've still got their bollocks and whatever, and they've become a woman,
yes,
can they have to still go in the men's?
Apparently, you have to go to the toilet, whatever your birth certificate says you are, that's where you have to go.
However, so then when they go in the wrestling, they still wrestle men as well?
Well, in this case, it's the other way around. So it's a girl.
Well, that's a bit dodgy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, she won, obviously. She's never lost.
Okay.
Because
they'd almost consider taking steroids would make you weaker, so you're a bit more...
Well, this is it, and she's full of testosterone. It's the Caster Semenya kind of deal where...
I'm not familiar with Caster Semenya.
The South African...
the hermaphrodite
sprinter.
That's
the one. It's full of testosterone, but claims she's allowed it because she's got X and Y chromosomes. But in this case, this girl wants to become a man, taking testosterone, taking all the enhancement stuff. So, unbeaten. No surprise.
Well, congratulations to her. I hope her life pans out and the success continues, frankly. Good for her.
Well, exactly. And eventually she'll get to wrestle against the men.
I look forward to it.
In other news, tennis...
tennis. You're watching tennis now. You hate tennis.
I hate tennis. I'm not watching it. But Nick Kyrgios and Bernard Tomic embarrassed themselves in Mexico today. That's fantastic news.
I haven't been watching the news. I didn't catch any of this. The last tennis match I saw was Federer v Nadal, the final.
And there you go.
That was a pretty good match.
At least you watched it.
Yeah. Me and Dad got hammered on the couch on a bit of Chivas Regal night.
So Bernard Tomic lost the first set today.
Okay.
And then decided it was far too hot for him.
Too hot?
Yeah, it was 27 degrees. He's from Queensland. He lost the set and he pulled out through heat exhaustion.
Maybe he was only going to make 50 grand off the tournament or something and wasn't cutting it.
The most interesting thing about it is the fact that about 2 hours later he went and played a doubles match.
I see.
So we basically tanked it as usual.
Well done, Bernard. Congratulations.
Well done, Bernard. But Kyrgios basically told some of the local fans to get fucked.
Okay.
Because they were making noise when he was serving.
Well, I like the way he shoots straight. I mean, he doesn't muck about.
He doesn't mix his words, does he?
No. Yeah, I think he's kind of... I was chatting about this at my friend, young Johnny, at work, and he was saying he's come... They're such twats, the two of them, Kyrgios and Tomic, but they're just stuck to their guns. They're not backing down for a sec.
They're not,
and it goes full circle, and you end up going, this guy's actually pretty awesome. It goes right round the other way.
Well, that's it. So, I mean, like I said, they continue to embarrass themselves, and whether they actually change their ways or not is a different matter. Did you see the West Indies President's 11 take on England this week?
I heard they almost won.
They did almost win, you're right. But the emergence of this 6'6", 140-kilo... Rakeem Cornwall is the talking point.
Okay.
So he's actually a bowler, but he smashed 59 off 61 balls. He's even bigger. Do you remember Dwayne Leverock of Bermuda in the World Cup a few years ago?
Is he a young lad or what? No,
this guy's quite young, yeah.
Dwayne who, sorry, in the World Cup?
Dwayne Leverock.
No.
Captain of Bermuda. Well, he wasn't captain. David Hemp was captain. But
they had that big fat guy, didn't they?
Dwayne Leverock, yeah.
Oh, that's him?
Yeah.
Okay, he took the slip catch.
He did.
Yeah.
He was a bowler. So this guy is another 20 kilos heavier than Dwayne Leverock.
Really?
Now, he's been part of the West Indies performance program the last couple of years. So when he went into the performance program, he was 120 kilos.
Right.
So after 2 years, 3 years of being on this performance program, he's now 140 kilos. Do you think something's not working there?
Well, I think maybe he's going for the Lance Armstrong approach and just digging it right in there, just growth hormone left, right, and centre.
Well,
And he's
it
just going
could
to
be.
run the gauntlet,
I
eventually
remember-
get tested, and there's drugs left, right, and centre, and he's going to have a flash in the pan career. I mean, in and out.
Well,
Everyone will remember it. Everyone remembers Lance Armstrong. Any other sports and drugs news floating around the place?
Well, sports and drugs news, I like the way you roll into that. Fantastic segue, Rob. You're a professional. You are a professional.
It's in disguise, but it's there.
Yeah, but in France, friend of the show, and friend of you more than me, obviously,
Yeah.
Mr. Ali Williams, former All Black, has got into a bit of trouble in France.
Well, trouble schmubble.
Trouble
As far as
schmubble.
long as I mean, there's trouble in terms of what's happened here is he was out with James O'Connor, the delinquent Australian young lad. Ali's taken some cocaine, or he's bought some from a bloke out of a car, about 3 bags worth, and he was sitting there lining up at some club, and police have run after him, and he's tried to throw him on the floor. Go, oh, it wasn't me. It didn't really work out. They saw through that whole plan, and unfortunately, of course, former All Black out on the piss who's basically retired. Has come out of retirement to play some bullshit season for
former
a
All
French
Black
club for Racing 92 when he's 35 years old. He's just obviously turned up to get a bit more cash before he has to be a family man. And it's global news. We all give a monkeys about a rugby player snorting some coke. You just don't see that every other weekend at some club that you go to with some guy coming out of the toilet. Like, oh my God. Are you kidding me? Why do people I'm going to keep humping on about this. I'm sick and tired of sportsmen being looked upon as these great role models in society. They're not. The vast majority are unintelligent, good people, good fun people to have a beer with, and maybe have a few lines with, who knows? But definitely not the sort of person that kids should be looking up to at all times, saying this is what you need to be like, because that's what's he up to behind the scenes? Anyone's guess. Girls, women, who could say, but Ali's a family man. I'm not saying that about Ali at all, not for 1 second. He's a friend of the show.
He is a friend of the show, yeah.
So that's not what I'm getting at there. What I'm getting at is parents, if you want your kids to have role models, you're the role model. The parent is the role model. You don't need to say blame because your kid's off on benders being a twat. It's going to be your fault. Teach your children to think for themselves. Even just some common sense, and then you'll be on the right track. Because, frankly, if your kid just sees that an All Black has taken drugs and then goes out and just starts being a twat because he saw that happen, I'm sorry to have to tell you that your kid is a simpleton, moron, idiot. So just teach him to think for himself, and the world will turn out all right.
What about taking your friend's wife into a toilet in Auckland Airport? That's an All Black thing, isn't it?
That is, and again, if you just do that because you think old Dick Bick Smith is the winner, then you got some things to address. Now, here we are, Greatest Sporting Benders, everyone's
Fantastic.
favourite segment.
Everyone's favourite
As this is
segment.
our second show, it's only 2 to choose
Yep.
from. We have some special guests here today.
We do. Skydivers, apparently.
Skydive Australia. One of which I've known for a very, very long time. I've known him for about just 20-odd years. He's been an international traveller of sorts, just, transporting all variety of goods. He then became a policeman. He's been a band manager for my old band. We moved here from Melbourne together. And he is now, of course, there's a logical movement in one's life, a skydiving instructor. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Dan Tottle from Skydive Australia. Round of applause.
Thank you. It's good to be here, people. It's lovely to be here amongst this lovely crew.
And on the side, we have Johnny DeVette, who is another champion instructor of South African origin, hence the DeVette name, isn't it? It's a lovely sounding name.
Very South African, Afrikaans, very South African.
Do you feel exotic?
I do feel exotic. I grew up in Australia, but I'd still claim the South African heritage.
I'd claim whenever you can. Well, welcome to the show, boys. It's lovely to have you in.
Did you bring any biltong for Johnny?
Any what?
Biltong.
I don't know what that
That's
is.
South Africa's national dish.
I do.
Okay.
It's delicious.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in,
I hope
in
so.
the freezer. Yeah.
In the freezer.
He's got a frozen
Clearly has no idea what biltong is.
He's got a frozen gazelle in the freezer. We're just going to kind of dry it out properly for a bit of biltong. Yes,
We should probably just briefly explain what we're talking about
great
here,
sporting
because
man,
we talked about back in the old days. We used to love sportsmen that in the 70s, 60s, whatever. They used to be able to get out and get amongst it and behave like absolute twats, and they could still perform at a high level. For example, James Hunt, the great Formula One driver of the 1970s. Huge benderer. He would a couple of lines, and then he'd have a couple of champers, and then he'd go out on the track and win the race. That's fantastic stuff. And we want to see a return of this sort of atmosphere. We don't want to see stupid stories about a former All Black who's 35 years old in Paris doing a couple of rails. That's not news. It's just life goes on. All right.
You've got the technical terms there, Rob, as well. I'm a bit worried.
So anyway, Beefy's here to tell us about someone quite familiar to Australia, is he?
Yeah, Grant Hackett. He was a swimmer, won Olympic gold medals. He's had a few run-ins. He got drunk, tweaked somebody's nipple on a plane because he was upset with them. So he's got a history. He ran around the casino naked or something, didn't he? Smashed up his wife's apartment, and
time
all
for
sorts.
applause. He's not even. He came back for the Olympics, didn't he? But during that time, he was predominantly on the news, the sports news.
Yeah,
and stuff.
that's right. That's what he tried to do.
He was pretty good at it, I thought.
Very big feet.
Huge feet, Grant Hackett. Yes,
Yeah.
certainly.
So basically, the last couple of weeks, he's got arrested for getting on, having a bender. So, and the newspaper reports that when he got arrested, Hackett posted a photo of his bruised, battered face, saying, "My brother comments to the media, but does anyone know he beat the shit out of me? Everyone knows he's an angry man." So the injuries were reportedly sustained last month when Hackett's brother Craig and mother Margaret went to his home for an intervention. After Grant became angry, Craig is alleged to have retaliated, hitting his brother. Hackett went to hospital for treatment of a bruised eye and jaw fractures, friends say. Now, this is the belter bit. He was in the middle of one of his benders. That's the word we love to use. A friend said, "It got heated pretty quickly. Grant told them to leave the property. They exchanged words, and Grant apparently charged at Craig, and Craig punched him in the face. Grant was running towards him, and that's why the impact was so bad."
He ran into the punch. Is that what
Yeah,
they're saying?
he did.
He ran into his fist.
He headbutted the fist.
Yes, that's it.
That sounds like he's at fault there for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
That's
He's charging right in.
Yeah, he's just running with
I
gay
think,
abandon.
that's brotherly love, really, isn't it? I mean, I've got two older brothers, and they once, my oldest brother knocked out my brother close to me in age, Matthew, with one single punch, and his nose bled profusely. He sort of went to the hospital, and they're fine. Everything's move on. Boys hit each other. That's what happens.
That's it.
Indeed.
Alcohol was definitely involved too.
Matt was on a bender.
Well, he was. He came back from a fairly large night, and he was very persistent in playing U2's Bad on the Rattle and Hum DVD over and over and over, really loud. And my brother was trying to sleep, and he finally got fed up, and Matt took the first swing, and Patrick said, "That's not happening. He's 6'5" and very strong, and one punch, it was all over.
One punch.
That's all it took.
Glass jaw Matt, they call him.
How do the benders work out in the skydiving industry, guys? Obviously, there's got to be some technical restraints. You can't really just, quite what people won't think, that you're probably just sitting out on the tarmac and you'd have a few shots of tequila before and a couple of, a bit of a smoke of a joint before you jump out of the plane. There's probably some regulations against that, I would imagine. You probably can't do that despite whatever inclination you might have. I recall Danny, time up at Nagambie, during the downtime, used to say that you guys used to have a few and like to get out on the tractor. Is that right?
Well, the classic saying is that skydiving is a drinking club where skydiving gets in the way. To be a little bit more realistic, there's what they call the 8-hour bottle to throttle rule.
Right.
So it's a very loose sort of like term.
Yeah.
Well, interpretation.
It is interpreted loosely as well. So what they say is that basically, if you want to drink till midnight, then you're not allowed to jump out of a plane till 8 in the morning. I'm sure the Civil Aviation Safety Authority would have something else to say about that, but that's the rule that that is generally.
That'd be a tough one to mind. You'd almost need a representative of the club sort of following you around, like minding what you're up to, kind of thing. Would that be? No, you just sort of you're seen as responsible skydiving instructors.
Well, I guess the issue is when the representative of the club is the drunkest one there.
I see. Yeah.
making all the decisions. But overall, it's we have a lot of fun with skydiving. The jumping out of planes things. We're talking about benders here.
Yes.
We get bent a lot. We love it.
Nice.
And all sorts of different types of bending too. So
What about, because you guys do a lot of tandem stuff, what about if you're, I'm going to call it a passenger, what if they're out of it? Do you turn a blind eye because they're just going to jump out of a plane anyway?
well, they sign a waiver.
Yes, good. We love waivers.
It's one of those
Just
don't
say-
ask, don't tell policies.
Yeah.
We're basically like the American military.
Yeah,
If we don't know, then we can't assume.
Yeah.
that's right.
It's just sort of a one-liner saying, whatever happens, this isn't our fault. Sign here.
Pretty
That's all.
much.
Yeah.
The 18-page waiver that's signed, it should be just down to that, I feel. But every now and then you get someone rock up that is slightly more inebriated than they should be. They're a little bit excited about maybe going for a skydive. Carried that on over the weekend, throughout the night perhaps. But yeah, more often than not, most people that rock up are more excited about the actual event themselves than getting shit-faced beforehand. Nothing tastes sweeter than a beer after a skydive though. So,
Nice.
Johnny, Danny's told me that, like, and you do obviously get all variety of different passengers for your tandems and stuff. He likes to try and the guys that have a lot of bravado and are talking up a big game, like, so their first jump and they're saying, yeah, I want to do this, want to do that, and they're trying to be the men. He's the ones that he likes to sort of just chucking a few cheeky flips when he first jumps out of the plane to sort of freak him out. Is that sort of the same sort of thing?
Mate, it's a funny thing, you know. You see these most of the time. The people that are most scared are the alpha males. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're all the bravado on the ground. The chicks are around. You know, they're talking. The chest is out. But the moment that door opens, those are the guys that really shit themselves. And one of the funniest stories I think I've come across. There was a group of 4 girls, and this kind of Greek. Guy with all the bravado. He was telling us how to brief the girls and telling us what to do, showing us how to skydive. You know, he'd seen a YouTube video or two. You know, where we got back in the plane, all the girls jumped. He panicked, and we had to take him back down in the aircraft.
What?
Yeah, and the walk of shame, boy. We landed. He's out the plane, walking back to the hangar, and all the girls have just jumped, you know.
Yeah.
Never seen anything like it. But it's definitely, you know, for me, it's when you get to the door, all the layers peel away like an onion, you know, and you see what's really there.
I love it. Yeah, well, Danny, on many occasions, we're out late, and it's no way it's crossing over that 8-hour rule. Not even close, definitely not.
I'm sure. Yeah, not with Danny here.
Definitely not. And it's always at about 3 a.m. when we've been having a fair few.
I don't start work until midday.
It starts at midday.
12 o'clock
right.
starts. It's funny, I've never seen that.
Generally, the time when I'm kind of weak, so I've still not jumped out of the plane, and it's just when he almost gets me to do it every time. It's just like I'm almost right there. He quotes me all these stats. He said there's only last year there was 12 million jumps, 5 fatalities, 3 with the skydive instructor's fault. Quotes all this stuff, just trying to get me over, and it's pretty slim odds of things going wrong there.
Yeah, look, I think tandem jumping is probably one of the safer things you can do. You know, honestly, I mean, we get out; it's very routine for us. It's when you start doing all the sports skydiving. You know, to me, it's the difference between getting on a bus, like doing a tandem skydive, or driving a Porsche when you're sports skydiving and doing all the carving and head down and crazy stuff. So, as a passenger, get on it. It's great. Robbie, I can't believe you haven't done a jump.
I think we should go and do our show.
You should do a Beefy.
We should go and do our show from Skydive Australia.
So I'll just film you jump out of the plane? Is that the idea?
Are you going to film me jumping out of the plane?
I'll get a really super extension lens, and I'll be able to focus on you jumping out of the plane while you do it.
I remember us trying to film skydiving in Dubai.
Well, this was the whole thing, because we had the Nationals up at a place where Johnny and I worked up at Ngambie. I was setting the whole event up, and I said to Rob, we've got the Nationals up here. We've got the best in the country coming along. And this is a great opportunity for the 365-day show. Come along and get amongst it. He ignored me. And I was like, well, righto, okay, I guess everyone's not into skydiving as much as I am. And over a few drinks, a few months later, I was like, well, why wouldn't you come and do this? And he was like, well, I was shit scared you were going to make me jump out of a plane, you prick. And so this is all it comes down to.
So if we get a sponsor to put up some cash, proper cash, we should probably both do it.
Well, and I get paid directly in my own pocket to do it?
Probably, yeah.
See, now we're talking.
See? See, I remember you, when we tried to get you to joust with Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie Andrews.
I said I'd 15 grand.
I'd do one time.
Yeah.
One joust, one
15
pass.
grand,
for
yeah.
15 grand. And I said also that's based on pauper rates. So that's like basically right now I have no money.
Yeah.
So
you and me both, fella. You and me both.
Skydive, what would I do it for?
$15.
Probably $1,000. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, $1,000 for Rob Bryars. You'll watch a grown man cry. He can play
something that they pay for.
Bass in front of 15,000 people for free. It probably cost him money. $1,000. Jump
You heard it here first. We're going to start a GoFundMe campaign. There will be a link at this show.
All right, so you're paying me to jump out of the plane.
Well, we're going to get you to jump out of the plane first.
You'll be able to check the 8-hour rule, Rob, because you'll be with him 3
the night
hours
before.
Let's go. That reminds me. There was a band over from the States called The Internet. So I got to hang out with these guys, and we were having a few drinks. I said to everyone in the band, is there anyone interested in going for a skydive tomorrow? And one of the boys stuck his hand up. The rest of them were running for the hills. He was like, right, let's go. So him and I partied on for a few hours, and then after the 8-hour rule, we met up in the morning and went for a skydive. He had a hell of a good time.
Sure he did.
Jamil Bruner, he made a song about it. He wrote a song about it called Molly at the Airport. Funny enough.
Molly was an old girlfriend of his, I guess.
Yeah, that's correct.
Rob, what have you got in your...
Oh, yeah, just so we're getting off track here.
Yeah, we are. It's fantastic chat. I love it.
But we're going to back to Great Sporting Benders. I'm going to have a quick basically just going to read stuff I printed off the internet about a certain guy who's very, very famous, a guy named Andre the Giant. Now, the drinking this man has
used to live in Paris.
He spent a lot of time in the States, obviously, with his WWF. But some of the boozing this man has done is not of this world. So here's some of the titles of these brief blurbs. Andre cleared a plane's entire stock of vodka during a flight to Japan. This is from Ric Flair.
Ric Flair?
I was with him one night at the Downtowner in Charlotte. In 1975, he drank 106 beers. And Frank Valois, his manager at the time, drank 56. Hey, I've been on a plane, on a 747 with him going to Tokyo out of Chicago. We drank every bottle of vodka on the plane. Crazy.
That's awesome.
What is he, like 9'3"?
Oh, at least. Especially when he got off the plane.
Here we go. This is from Hulk Hogan. I get a call. Hey, boss, I'm at the Tampa airport. I got a 1-hour layover. I was like, okay, it's 15 minutes or so from my mom's house. So I drive over to the airport and I meet him at the Delta Crown Lounge. By the time we sat down, we had about 45 minutes before he had to walk to the next gate. He drank 108 12-ounce beers.
In an hour?
An
In
hour?
45 minutes, he drank 108 beers.
What's a 12-ounce beer worth? Is
12
that
ounce,
like
that's gotta be like a pot.
It's like shot glasses for her, but 108 shots of beer in 45 minutes
That's a
is
lot
still
still.
pretty
It's
impressive.
Good going, isn't it?
Andre responded to the last call by ordering 40 drinks. Andre pounded 2 cases of beer in an hour-long car ride. He knocked off 2 slabs in an hour, just
So is
driving in the back of
secret
a
to
car.
being massive drinking heaps?
Well, I think it was already obviously fairly
Oh,
large.
it's huge, yeah.
But I tell you what, last Sunday night I was sitting here and I'd been working, got a bit of work done during the day, but cracked a few beers. I was feeling a bit guilty because I wasn't supposed to be drinking. And I was sitting there having my 6th beer over 7 hours or something, feeling like, oh, that's a very poor effort. Then I read about this guy. And it put everything in perspective, and I said, actually, you know, I'm doing all right. I think.
I'm not sure that you can use that as doing all right.
Yeah, there's lines in the sound, definitely.
Well, I think that's a good chat about our Great Sporting Benders. That's
Fantastic,
wrapped
we
up.
love that.
move on to,
We'll keep going with Great Sporting Benders because there's so many great
there's just
stories
so
from
many stories, particularly
sportsmen
with the
just
skydiving
getting on it.
sportsmen. All right, everyone, it's worst song in the world time.
So he played the first song that came to his head. It just so happened to be, it was the worst song in the world. It was the worst song in the world. Listen to the song and it's clear you're wrong, because the words don't fit and the song is shit. You're a talentless tit. You suck!
I love that, Rob.
All right.
Great work.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's what Rob did on a Friday night in. Just creating genius.
Look at it.
How many
Fantastic.
beers in was that?
Only 2.
Only 2. Fair enough.
Yeah. About the same as now, actually. Now, so obviously what we've got here is a brand new segment.
Yes.
It's called Worst Song in the World. Now, people often say that...
Sports related, though.
Sports related. Well, people often say that music and politics don't mix, and people will say that sport and politics don't mix. I'm here to make a case that often music and sport don't mix either. So what I've got here is some attempts by musicians, artists, to try and make a coalition with sport, and they've fallen well short of the mark and produced something fairly disastrous.
Yeah. Well, when you asked me about this, I straight away immediately thought of Reading Football Club that put out this song that was written for them by like their co-chairwoman who she's obviously thinks herself as a bit of a diva and a bit of a songwriter.
She is actually involved in the performance. Is that what you're saying? Or she's
actually
sort of the producer?
She wrote the song.
She wrote the song.
Yeah.
The lyrics.
Yeah. She wrote
Okay.
the lyrics.
Should we
but
hear the song?
I think we should.
Hear
It's
the
called
song. So this is the Reading Football Club.
Reading Football Club.
Just a fan-inspiring type of song.
basically.
Okay. It's like a psychedelic mix.
Yeah, it kind of is. Oh, here it goes.
Oh, the dance music kicks in.
I'm concerned because Johnny's tapping his foot. He likes this.
Are you feeling the Reading vibe?
This sucks. horrendous. So they've basically done it. They've come up with a song that is basically "Do You Ever Know You're My Hero?" But
Yeah,
they've
and
changed
they've
the
kind
words.
of changed it and everything else. So, so it was given as a gift by this lady.
A gift.
A gift, yes.
Like,
it's a
like
gift.
herpes.
Yeah.
Here, have this.
I'm not coming to your birthday.
How was it received by the fans, Beefy?
No, they hated it. They absolutely hated
Consensus?
it. I got some stuff.
I'm going to rebut here. I like it.
Yeah.
I actually do. It's got a little bit of electronica.
Yeah, it's got
beautiful.
everything.
It's a good thing.
So,
what are the lyrics there?
okay.
The devil's advocate.
We're just going to go through the lyrics. So basically, can you sing the lyrics as you do it? Or
I don't know about singing it. It's bad enough listening to it, let alone
Yeah.
me singing it. So it's called We Are the Royals, because that's their nickname. We started when all the odds defied us. Through passion and dreams we reached new heights. We were marching proudly from Elm Park into the stadium. We forced our rivals to make way. It's very poetic.
Well, it's
So-
actually quite nice lyrics, to be fair.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just teamed with some shitty dance track.
Yeah.
But could they not have just come up with their own tune rather than just going over the top of "Did You Ever Know You're My
Well-
Hero" by Bette Midler? I mean, why? I reckon we're going with this song, Midler.
Yeah, Midler.
Yeah, yeah.
Why not? Now we're here and we're strong. We're going to bring it on. Can you hear when we shout, come on?
It rhymes.
That's about all it does. And so this is the chorus. We will fight till the end. They call us the Royals. With our might, we'll defend. Rhyming, love it. The glory of Reading. I've been to Reading. I've been to Reading
Ricky
a
Gervais
number
is
of
from
times.
Reading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
The one export.
the glory of Reading. Like the kings of our land, they call us the Royals. Let us sing every man. We stand by the Royals. So, and there's a rap section in it later on as well. So they
Do that,
Good.
Beefy.
They-
Do that.
they're covering all genres in one. Midler, electronica, psychedelica, and a bit of rap.
Okay.
How we love the thrill of a good game. How we like the smell of the fame. Doesn't matter if we learn or win. Unstoppably be burned within. Getting ready to shed our sweat. Everybody get ready and set. Let's celebrate tonight. Our blood is blue. Our wings are white. There you go. And there's a
There
chant.
it is.
There's a crowd chant
There's
as
a
well.
chant as well.
Oh yeah.
Blue and white, blue and white, blue and white, give us blue and white, blue and white. Everybody come on.
And then
That's the whole chant. Just
That's
blue
the
and white,
chant.
blue and
I
white.
think it's a
They just
bit-
said blue and white many
yeah,
times.
yeah. So there's some of the tweets. WTF have I just watched? Reading FC, thanks for making me laugh. What an unbelievable song. Everybody associated with Reading FC should be ashamed of it. It's just tragic. The rap bit in the Reading FC song
You hearing
is the
this, Johnny?
greatest thing I've ever heard. The Reading song is either an incredibly good piece of advertising or a self-obsessed wannabe celeb owner showing us who runs the club. I think
Horrific.
that's... Yes.
They don't know that's
see,
done by the
and-
secretary,
is it-
right?
Yeah.
Johnny, you sure you still like this? After
Yeah.
that's a fair pasting that's I've just given it an absolute bollocking, that song.
So
and
this
you're
is-
standing up
Listen
for it.
to
Like,
me.
you're the first minority here.
I am going to stand up for it. Okay, it's different to what's out there. I'm into what's different as a skydiver. Okay, who doesn't run the general football kind of angle. I don't mind it.
I love...
That's always got to say. I don't mind.
mind.
As a
What sort of
disclaimer for
defense
all
is
skydivers that have music taste, Jonathan DeVette is not the spokesperson for this.
Dan Whiting, who's at the middle stump as a cricket commentator, Stand by the Royals for Reading FC is quite possibly the worst sports song ever. It makes Here We Go by Everton look like a masterpiece. We have to look the Everton song
Okay, well,
up.
that's the next one. It's coming up next.
So, and I think the final piece is James Kemble on credit. He says, who at Reading FC actually thought this song was A, any good, and B, a good idea to do it in the first place? So that kind of sums that up.
Well, I've got a song here which also should just not really have been. I don't think the Florida Marlins president of the football club, baseball club
yeah.
rather, really thought this one through. So this is
We've actually made contact with the president of Miami Marlins in the past.
right,
Dave
he's
Sampson,
right, he
he's
did.
called. So
Okay.
we should get his view on this.
Well, I tell you what, he must have received a fair pasting because he very foolishly hired a band by the name of Creed. Well, actually, I don't think it was Creed. I think it was just Scott Stapp, the singer on his
Okay,
own.
just the main man.
Creed is an interesting band. It's not dissimilar to the Bernard Tomic sort of Nick Curious type of vibe, where it came out and is atrocious, and you go, what is wrong with these people? This is the worst music in the world. This is the biggest twat in the world. But he's just stuck with it, and he got like he got done for he had a sex video, I think, and he was
did he?
He got on the gear and got on drugs and blew out, went to jail, I think, or rehab
Oh,
at least.
yeah.
And he came back and he was still sticking with it. So this is Scott Stapp, he's got together with the Florida Marlins to create this song to try and spur on the fans and get them excited. It's called Marlins Will Soar.
Really?
Which is kind of ironic, really.
For a
isn't it?
sea
Is that
creature.
irony? I'm not sure, but
Pre-build up,
Nice.
building up, bit of atmosphere.
Again, I'm already liking it.
Let's play bowling game day. We want strikeouts, base hits, double plays. Take the field, hear the roar of the crowd.
Bit of bass work there.
Come on, Marlins, make us proud.
Eddie Vedder, was he guesting on this?
This is great.
We'll soar!
That's horrendous.
I'm with you, Johnny. I'm up for this.
This is horrendous. Play ball. A night game of stolen base. That's just, it's baseball.
Yeah.
It's not time to get deep, and it's not time to like think about.
He's a very deep character,
It's like
though, isn't he?
It's like he's on a cliff top again with one of his horrible videos with comets landing around him.
Yeah.
And he's just going, "Here, I'm gonna play ball. Take me out to the ball game.
swing, bada, swing.
But I think the clue is in the title is not going to be any good because, as Danny touched on, Marlins that soar. I mean, they jump out of the water every now and again, but that's about it. They're not going to fly, are they?
I mean,
Well, mostly when they've got a hook in their mouth.
Yeah,
or something,
generally,
which
yeah.
is not.
pathetic. It's just horrendous. This is, but at the same time, I do applaud the fact that he stuck with it.
Is he just? I wonder if they're still playing it.
He's just a horrendous person, really. So
Nice.
I've shown a lot of people recently. There's back in the day. I'm showing my age now, but there used to be an MTV thing which was like a claymation thing where it was wrestling essentially.
Claymation wrestling.
Oh, it was just him versus Eddie
It was
Vedder.
him versus Eddie Vedder. And one of the greatest things when I was growing up, Eddie Vedder saying, "You stole my voice," and Scott Stapp coming back with, "You stole my voice too." And then they had a massive fight, and I think Eddie Vedder won the fight by cutting his throat out with some barbed wire or something.
Yeah.
And MTV killed it with that. It was fantastic.
But I do take offence to including Eddie Vedder on the same platform as Scott Stapp, because he did a bit in his early days, Eddie Vedder, with like the 10 album stuff. He was doing a bit of her, but he actually just sounds like that when he talks.
He does.
And that's so when he sings, he actually tries not to do the her these days.
I'm actually
He's
quite
avoiding
proud
it.
that I've never actually listened to Scott Stapp speak. So I have no idea what he's talking like. It's just
yeah,
like,
Russell-
"I'm Scott Stapp."
You don't want to hear one word out of his mouth, I guarantee you.
But
Yeah.
go Marlins.
Yeah.
And go Jesus, Scott Stapp.
Oh.
Yeah.
You
All
had to
right.
bring Jesus into it, didn't you, Rob? Just had to bring Jesus in.
Well, that's worst song in the world.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life. There's a time you gotta go and show you grow, and now you know about the facts of life.
Righto, so here we are, the facts of life. We've got a theme for today's facts of life, sporting facts. The theme is something old, something new, something borrowed, something askew. Is that correct, Beefy? Is that what you
According
thought?
to your notes, yes.
Okay.
I didn't quite get that far.
So we're here to discuss odd
just-
sporting facts.
Yeah, I kind of just jumped in. It was Shrove Tuesday yesterday.
Oh, Shrove Tuesday, which is what?
Pancake Day.
Yeah, it is Pancake Day.
Okay.
Celebrations of all things non-perishable.
Well, that's it. Shrove Tuesday is the last day before Lent, and obviously you're meant to give stuff up for Lent. So people did things on Shrove Tuesday trying to get rid of stuff so they could, get out the way. So if they were giving up eggs and pancakes, they just eat them all. But the best one is there's a pipe smoking contest on Shrove Tuesday where they were trying to use up all their tobacco. So they're giving up smoking for Lent. So they have this pipe smoking contest. It's they try and keep it going for as long as possible. So I think the record is about an hour 15 or something.
That's a solid
Continuous.
effort.
Yeah.
There's nothing like taking on copious amounts of nicotine in order to give up.
Yes,
nicotine.
indeed.
Nothing's going to cure the addiction by more of the stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But Shrove Tuesday is famous for Royal Shrovetide football, hence the name. Now, we saw bottle kicking, didn't we, in Derbyshire?
We did. We missed the Shrove Tuesday because
we missed this one.
Which was that the
That was
whole
the
Vegas after the Super
Spirit
Bowl?
Airlines,
the whole
yeah.
Vegas
Yep,
thing.
Spirit Airlines
and,
stuffed us up.
Yeah, and we spent a night in Detroit or something.
So it's a mass football game where basically the pitch is 3 miles long. If you're born one side of the river, you play for the uppies. If you're born the other side of the river, you play for the downies. And the idea,
Downies.
yeah, or the downards or whatever they're called. So
Sorry,
they throw this ball up and you basically ruck it and wrestle it. But there is some great rules here. These are the official rules. Rule number 1: committing murder or manslaughter is prohibited.
Okay, keep that in mind.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Unlike skydiving.
Yeah, don't kill people,
It's
basically.
frowned upon.
And, well, funny enough you say that, unnecessary violence is frowned upon in this game. The ball may not be carried in a motorised vehicle.
May not.
So
okay.
if you break away,
Yeah.
you can't chuck it in the
So
car.
push
and drive.
bikes are okay then.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
around
yeah.
the...
Just
getting
not
around...
motorised.
It's interesting to note that they've had to write this rule in because at some stage it's happened to stop it. You basically
It's
think
like
about
every shitty laminated thing on a wall, right?
Yeah,
that
that's
says
it.
something stupid.
Yeah, health and
For every
safety.
stupid laminated sign, there's been some idiot that's doing
that's
it.
right. So the ball may not be hidden in a bag, coat, or rucksack, etc. It says. So it's obviously happened before. Cemeteries, churchyards, and the town memorial gardens are strictly out of bounds. Obviously, they've run over graves and things like that and broken stuff.
Okay.
This is the most important one. Playing after 10 p.m. is forbidden because,
What?
well, the pub shut at 11.
That's not like the Haxie Hood thing.
No,
where-
so the pub shut at 11, so they make sure.
they have an hour's
Drinking.
session.
Yeah.
That's good thinking.
See,
Yeah.
That's very
so
considerate. I
you
think.
thought, oh, what's going on there?
Yeah,
No,
yeah. I thought they're being
indeed.
soft. They're actually they're very intelligent.
Yeah.
The Haxie Hood thing was legendary.
Haxie Hood is my favourite day of the year. And to score a goal, the ball must be tapped 3 times in the air of the goal. Now, the goals are millstones that they have at each end of the village. There is a river that runs through Ashbourne as well.
Okay.
It has been known for all the play to be played in the river.
So it's of standing depth, this river.
Yeah, they're in
You
the.
don't-
It's a brook. So in terms of that, yeah, they're the rules. That's it. So we've seen Haxie Hood. We saw bottle kicking. It is a massive, just rock
Yeah.
that kind of inches, one way or the other.
How many people are involved in this?
Probably about 400.
400.
So 200 aside, I would imagine that kind of rolls through.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's it's the Haxie Hood arrangement that we saw. That was
That was
the,
4
the ruck
pubs.
itself. That
Yeah.
was 4 pubs. So when you get that amount of people together in mass, it's pretty scary actually.
Oh, it is. And they make a point in Ashbourne that they board up shop windows and pub windows and everything, and they move cars out
So
the
it's
way.
a riot.
It's
essentially.
A controlled riot.
A controlled riot, that's it.
Well, we've got some rules. No death, no
yeah,
motor
you
vehicle.
don't
Yeah, yeah,
kill
yeah,
people,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's cool.
And a river.
Does it
So
say-
it doesn't mention about drowning.
I guess guns and knives we covered
Murder.
in no murder or manslaughter.
Yeah.
So that's sort of
Or unnecessary
Facially
violence.
wounded.
bigger
That's
umbrella idea, isn't it? Hard
Now
enough.
the other thing is, if you score a
You're
goal,
weak, you're weak.
if you score a goal before 5:30, they're going to start again. They throw it up again. But if you score after 5:30, pub.
So they're encouraging it
that's
to
a
go
pretty-
on for a
that's-
longer period.
Well, no. They're on the fence, aren't
Yeah,
they? Yeah, they're
they're
kind
kind
of
of-
like, okay, we actually want to go to the pub, but we feel like we should make an effort.
But they actually play over 2 days in this one, whereas Haxie Hood is an all-day kind of
just
affair
a-
sometimes. But and
14
this is
hours.
the other thing is, it is approved by the royal family. This game,
Okay.
Henry VII, I think, approved this.
It sounds a little bit like skydiving. We want to go to the pub, but we're going to put in a little
You
bit
got
of
to
effort.
just
Yeah. Well, I think that's the way that it should be. You do your work, you do something decent, and then you can be a twat.
Go to the pub and talk about how awesome you were and that
Oh.
thing that you've been going to the pub for.
Well, that's great. I think that's been some great facts of life there
Yeah,
from the
that's
Beef
it.
Man.
Facts of life.
Yeah, yeah.
Shall we get some facts of life from the skydiving people?
I'd like to get some more facts
Yeah.
of life from the skydiving people.
Have you
while
had some
they're here.
Klingons, like guys, women, especially women, because they love the skydiving types? Do they just?
Well, no, they don't. This is a big myth, actually.
Oh, really?
It's a massive myth. When I started skydiving, much like when I started band management, I thought that it would come flowing. But it turns out that you're at the lower end of the pecking order. They like the idea of it, but once you start doing it, they're like, are you going to come home? Yeah,
And you go,
and it becomes a
well,
problem.
maybe.
Whereas
That's not that big of an ask. Are you going to come home?
Well,
You
no,
know,
well,
I mean,
no.
I think that's sort of pretty.
well, I'm hoping so.
Well, we're away every weekend, you know. We jump every weekend. I think the moment the girls realise we're never around, it's all over, you know.
Our time off
Goddamn
basically
wives
is like
wanting us to come
Mondays,
home.
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And we work weekends a lot, so we're not coming home.
So Mondays, it's like hospitality. Monday's your weekend.
Absolutely.
So when does so your bender time has got to be your days off really, which is going to be a midweeker.
Yeah.
So that's when you go out and you get like strange people. You know when you go out during the middle of the week and you get odd people that do different stuff. Mm-hmm. And so you'll.
That's us you're talking about.
Yeah. But those you'll meet similar times.
Similar idiots.
Yeah. It makes for a much
other
more fun
people
evening.
that do random stuff.
Well, you can talk about Tony's Bucks party, right? One of our colleagues, our esteemed colleagues, Tony Keller, has just got married. We went to his
Tony
Bucks
Lowe.
party, recently, but it was like a Monday night or something. I think it was Monday night. You know, who has a Bucks party on a Monday night? And the good thing is when early in the night you get in everywhere, but you're focused on the moment they realise you're incredibly intoxicated.
Well, by the time you're peaking at 9:30 on a Monday, no one wants you in their establishment by 11.
Go to the botanical gardens, they say.
Well, you're not one of these park party types, are you? You know, party in the park.
We've had to be, Rob, because
It's-
of our timetable.
Now, I want to know about back to skydiving again.
Whoa.
Because this is a
Whoa.
sports show.
It is a
first.
sports show,
This is
yeah.
a sports show. When you jump out of that plane and you're looking after an amateur in a tandem, and you get some muppet who has paid no attention to the instructions, has no idea what's going on, and they're kicking you in the balls, how hard is it not to just punch them?
Welcome to my week.
Yeah, I was about to say this is perfect for Daniel over here because he has had a fortnight of this. Every passenger.
We do about 50 jumps a fortnight. I was saying today that I've had 2 in the last 2 weeks that haven't been complete idiots. It's not a complicated thing, honestly. Any idiot can skydive. It's actually super simple. One of the things that I've come to realize recently, when you're in an extreme environment like that, you're going to jump out of the plane and you're going to do whatever comes naturally to you. So our job is to basically prevent things turning pear-shaped from your retardation. I like to call myself a terminal velocity selfie engineer. More so than a skydive instructor, because everyone just wants Facebook photos and stuff like that, which is cool, but we really want to be there for the experience.
How many jumps are you up to now?
I'm out to about 3,000. Johnny, I don't know what
You,
you're up
Johnny,
to.
what are you?
7,700.
Oh, nice.
And apparently, my Chinese passenger today told me that it's a very lucky number. Actually, I had 778. Was
Ooh.
a very, very lucky number.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
You're
I
less-
didn't.
It's just
I didn't
lucky.
go further than that. I just
Well, you're
got
here
out.
tonight,
Super
so...
tan,
Yeah. Obviously, things are going well. The fact that you're taking place in
So,
Narwhal Studios.
Johnny, getting back to actually the sporting side of things, we got told that you're actually a multiple Australian record holder.
Yes. I've done 2. In skydiving, you can do flat flying, right, which is when you're belly to earth, or you can go vertical, right,
Yeah.
when you like head down to the planet. So I do a
Head
lot
down
of
to the planet.
They call it free flying. So I do a lot of free flying. So I've been on 2 Aussie free fly records. I was on a Norwegian record, and I was part of a training camp in Arizona for a big record there. And I've got like a tentative invite to the world record next
Whoa.
year. So fingers crossed I can.
So,
Keep
okay,
my shit
you're
together.
head first towards the Earth.
Yeah.
What is the record? What's the actual quantitative record?
The world record is 164. Okay?
So this is speed we're talking?
You're gonna
No.
164 people
Oh, just
falling
free...
290, 300 k's an hour
Right.
together as a group.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so,
it's actually
these records you get, there's like 5 planes or 6 planes.
Yeah.
Okay, and everyone gets out at about 22,000 feet. We've all got oxygen on the way up to height. We get out, we build a huge formation, okay? And that formation has to be put on paper. It has to be approved by the judges,
Yeah.
the Guinness World Book of Record dudes and all that kind of stuff. We
Oh,
do
I'm
the
familiar
jump.
with them.
I'll bet you are.
Being a world record holder myself.
Oh,
Yes.
tell us, Beefy.
I don't think our audience need to be
He's
reminded.
he's just interrupting our guest to talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
himself for a moment, if he can. You know?
Yeah. Of course. So carry on. Yes.
Yeah, so you build this formation, you know, and it's incredibly technical. You know, flying head down is a lot tougher than flying belly to earth, and you've got to have quite a lot of kind of experience skydiving to actually do it. And then you've got the whole thing of when you've built the thing, like 50, 60, 150 people, whatever it is, You then have to track off, okay, which is move away from the formation and open a parachute in a safe manner. So it's very technical, you know, the oxygen fatigues you, all that kind of stuff. But when you build it, best feeling in the world.
One of the things that intrigues me about the skydiving caper is that when Beef and I were doing the mental 365 trip, and you tell people that you did this and they go, oh, that's just crazy, what was that like? And the fact is, very quickly when you're doing it every day, insanity becomes normality. Yeah. And as much as what you guys do is, to most people, incredibly extreme, it's so familiar to you. Like, what do you? Is there still some sort of buzz, some sort of adrenaline release when you do it, or is it just pure fun now? Are you relaxed? How do you feel?
Yeah, man, it's a funny one, you know. I still get a huge buzz, whether I'm jumping with a tandem or jumping with my own kind of sports stuff or records. I love it, you know. When that door opens, it's the same, you know. You're about to get out an airplane. It's a great thing.
That's the part that scares me when I think about it. When I say you do the preparation, the training, you're up in the plane. For me, so I've not done this. I'm a pussy, as you've just already established. But sitting at the point where you're actually sitting on the edge of the plane,
yeah,
that's when reality kicks in.
That's the scariest point, right? You're on the edge of the plane, but the moment you go, it's incredible. And that feeling of leaving a plane, there's nothing in the world that feels like it. You know?
I think there's a big difference between, say, the fear that Rob is talking about and the fear that we have. You know,
totally, yeah.
We don't really have a fear of leaving the plane. We've got an exhilaration of leaving the plane. The fear, for a lack of a better term, that we've got is more so of achieving what we want to achieve on that skydive and not messing that up. The same as a sports person on the field doesn't want to.
You don't want to have
blow
to go down
the,
and go,
you know,
I blew that.
You've got the winning goal as Dan Carter, All Black, and you miss it. You don't want to be the guy in the World Cup final missing the goal. You know, the same as on a skydive when you're trying to do a formation or a particular thing. You don't want to be the guy that's blowing it. And so that's what goes through your head for us more so than the fear of leaving the aircraft. There is no fear of leaving the aircraft for us. It's a real exhilaration. Like the favorite part of the skydive for me is leaving the aircraft because you're stepping over that.
All the rest is just admin.
Yeah, essentially.
That's right. A lot of paper signing and
That's it.
you know, getting over the 8-hour rule from the night before.
I've got to get my PA to call my other PA.
It's a real downer on the vibe, man. You know, I'm just trying to get crazy, and I got to deal with this paper, man.
People just call it falling, you know, but there's a lot of technique with skydiving. There's a real knack to it, right? Like, it's not just sticking your arms out, sticking your legs up your ass and falling through the sky. You know, when you start talking about the free flying that Johnny's doing, you're doing 300 k's an hour. You know, you're doing Formula One speed. Big actions get big reactions. So small micro movements actually, you know, you could look to your left or right slightly and you'll start turning that way. It's that intricate, you know. There's a real dance to it. There's a real ballet. There's a real special element to it. So it's not just this extreme stuff. There's something about relaxing through pressure, which is really special, I think, as well. And I think like the Formula One guys and some of these guys that have got like split seconds with response times and stuff, there's a lot of thinking that goes on in those real small periods of time. Time does stand still a little bit while you're doing this stuff because you're falling at a relative speed. You're falling side by side. Yeah. So it might look like we're not moving very much together. But if there was someone there just watching us go zoom past, it would look like mayhem. Yeah. You know, so yeah, there's some real beauty to it.
I think you stopped. You're almost making me want to do it now. You
hello.
Come back it off.
Yeah, that's it. This is these late night talks that we have.
And if you do want to experience Rob skydiving, there will be a GoFundMe campaign for Rob to get airborne.
Yeah, Kickstart My Heart, we'll call it. Yeah, Motley Crue.
Dan, I was going to say, though, being a Kiwi, have you ever been to Murchison?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Well, we went to Murchison once.
Today's March the 1st?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I
And if we go back...
I don't know if I can't remember the date, and should have looked it up, but I'm just thinking that Bullerfest is on.
Did you say you have been to Murchison?
I've been everywhere in New Zealand. My parents took me everywhere before I was allowed overseas.
Murchison.
He's been to every prison in New Zealand.
This time last year, we were in Murchison in New Zealand.
Well, Bullerfest is on this weekend. Me and Rob went to Murchison, that nobody else in New Zealand apart from Dan Toll has been, unless you're a kayaker or rafter. What's your everlasting memory of Bullerfest?
That annoying girl on the common... Oh, I wanted to slap her. They had a classic New Zealand twat. Trying to, you know, someone who couldn't talk properly. She's got that really strong... You know how the really, really strong New Zealand accent?
Yeah.
they sound like a simpleton. You
Yes.
know? That's basically the whole Flight of the Conchords comedy is based on the fact that we can't talk properly. and that's what this woman was like. But she's trying to crack gags, like she's the witty one. She's like, doesn't matter what you say, my dear, you sound like a complete muppet.
So thanks, Mum, for commentating the Buller
And we
Fest.
had to listen to her for hours.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to like shut your mouth.
It was Bullerfest
Yeah.
2016, 25 years of rocking the river, and we heard that how many times?
I don't know.
In a really annoying voice. It
About
was
8
She
times too
sounds
many
like
times.
a New Zealand provincial radio
Oh, yeah,
DJ.
she-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Spot on.
so. Well, yeah, this will wrap it up.
So what's coming up next week? What do we got? We got Francis from the Resignators coming.
Well, I
up
hope
as a
so.
guest, is
Yeah,
that right?
yeah, definitely. So we're back to music side of things, to the
we'll
sport.
we'll take a moment now to thank Johnny and Danny from
Yes,
Skydiving
thanks for coming and
Australia.
joining us.
Thanks for having
Fantastic
us,
lads.
guys.
And thanks for
Great
bringing-
to be here. Thanks, gents.
Thanks for bringing lots of
Thanks for the
booze.
beer, Beefy.
No
Good
problem,
one.
man.
365 Days of Sport. We'll see you next week.
It has been 365 days.